Yo, 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 what's up, y'all? What's going on? Yeah, let me get my camera right and all that. What's going on with everybody, man? Go ahead and hit that like button one time for your boy, man. Yes, sir. I'm out here working, man, as usual. Per usual, that's how I always am. Always out here working, getting ready for that Steelers game that's coming on tonight. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. We got a team that we playing the Chargers, so I'll definitely do my Steeler talk afterwards. But this is college football. This is the recap, and this is the whole week and what's going on throughout the week, right? So, I mean, I get where a lot of people out here are really on this college football tip and how crazy the games is and everything. We do this every week, right? We do. However, I got to start off talking about the Colorado game. Why? Because I always make Colorado content. That's kind of how I started doing my channel, and then you know what I mean. Because I always was a huge fan of Deion Sanders, so it's only right that I go ahead and give him a quick segment before I get up into this. Right. So starting off with Colorado, good game for Julian Lewis. First off, I just want to say good game for Julian Lewis because it was a good game from the young man. Right. I don't want to take nothing away from him, but at the same time I- it was against a West Virginia team that is really bad. Number one, under Rich Rod, um, with a true freshman quarterback, and the way that West Virginia played, they had no business on the field. That was, I hate to say it, but this year the West Virginia team was like another Delaware game, and I'm really not too much, and I want to see what he does next week. It's too early for me to say what everybody out there been saying. Colorado's found a quarterback, and I get it. There's a lot of true Colorado fans that did not come over to Colorado the way I did, so they're going to. Oh, we found our quarterback for the future, and Julian Lewis. Like, hold up, pump your brakes a little bit. Like, I don't want to rain on nobody's parade. You try to stay positive with it, but for some reason the truth is hate, and there's just a way of explaining the truth. You gotta sometimes just rip the band-aid off. Instead you just gotta walk, you know what I mean? Like, there's no other way to say certain things sometimes. And truth be told, um I thought that they would beat West Virginia, to be honest. I did. I thought Colorado would beat West Virginia. um Now, I didn't think that they would beat them in my preseason predictions, but well, week 4, I'm like, yeah, for sure, Colorado will beat this team. This team is that bad. I was surprised that Pitt lost to them. They can play good at times in spurts, and as you can see, that's a very non-consistent team, which just boils down to being a bad team, right? Because you seen them put it on Houston. You seen them beat a Pittsburgh team, that the Pittsburgh Panther team that averages what, 40 points a game. It might be a little bit more. I'll have to look at my notes here in a second, but you know what I mean? Like that's huge, right? And then they play Colorado tough. And I'm not saying that Colorado's a bad team. There's a lot of talent on that Colorado roster, but there's also the coaching aspect to Colorado, in which Colorado suffers from, in my opinion, right? That's just my opinion. But the facts is that that was a bad West Virginia team. They didn't win the game. He did throw for 299 yards. They could not run the ball. Um at all. I thought that Salter brought more of a presence. When you have to account for all 11, that opens up other things. It opens up the field. Not to say that his play wasn't bad. I mean, Juju being in there right now, I understand it, and I'm okay with that decision, because you got to see what you're moving forward. We're probably not going to make a bowl game. We got three the 4 games they had left was tough games. 2 out of the 4 was very tough. I thought that they were probably beat Kansas State and West Virginia, and but now they got Arizona State. I want to see if he could do that versus Arizona State. If Julian Lewis goes out there and performs the same way versus Arizona State, I'm sold. I'm sold. You know what I mean? And I don't have to see him throw for another 200-yard game. I just got to see I just got to see what I've been trained to see, as far as putting the respect on the football and my football knowledge. I just need to see him go out there, stay composed in the pocket, um, get rid of the ball, not take unnecessary sacks. It take what the defense is giving him. See if he can identify and slide his protections. See how well he's doing with those type of things. You know what I mean? It's not all the glitz and glamour of 299 yards, because see, everybody sees that, but then they don't see the fact that he also got sacked 6 times last. I think it was more than six, but I ain't got the stats pulled up just here. But yeah, like he got sacked that many times in the game, and that shouldn't happen, right? And not to say that all of it wasn't him, but this is the same offensive line minus Jordan Seaton. And I think it was maybe a few others that may be hurt, but minus we know Jordan Seaton wasn't in there for sure, right? And there's a lot of these bodies that's been around in the program, and that's pretty much the same offensive line that's been around, minus 5-star left tackle that hasn't been there, and they got chewed up. But he could have took some check downs. He could have threw the ball away sometimes. He could, you know what I mean? There was some people he may have missed, but what I see on film is not field level. You know what I mean? He's not seeing over those big offensive linemen and those defensive linemen and seeing downfield all the time. He's trying to stay in the pocket. I like his pocket presence. He's trying to stay in the pocket, and make the throws. I do see that, right? And I guess those are the things you're looking for. But with a more competitive defense, a backfield and linebackers, a well-rounded team as Arizona State, that will tell it all for me. Um, just in the Big 12 level, and because I don't know how he would, you know, pan out versus these other teams because he's not there. So Arizona State is supposed to be a mid tier, almost a top tier, mid tier to a top tier Big 12 team. So I'll be able to measure him off of that barometer, of success. Again, y'all get where I'm going with that, right? And that's all I'm saying. Like it's no big deal. I just want to see him versus a team like that. You know what I mean? But them taking that L, I think they're just moving forward for the rest of the season. Yeah, I said some things like Coach Prime should just with his health concerns to me, and your health is important, right? Your young men need you around a lot, and I know he's being there for other people's kids, so that does show a whole lot of unselfishness, if you ask me, to be honest. So I got to keep it real with that. But at the same time, like I know he's already in a GM type of role right now, but I think he needs to he should not need. I think he should. I suggest, you know what I mean? I think he should just go into that GM role, use your cachet, your name, image, and likeness to bring attention to the Colorado Buffalo program. Put a head coach in there and let them bring their guys in there. And if you feel like there's certain guys that you don't want to leave left out, but from my understanding, there's a lot of gold jackets on that staff and a lot of guys who are millionaires, and they'll be okay, right? They'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? It's about moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And playing a position that I think that will fit who he is and where it's at, right? Because, and I'm not saying he's a bad coach because he's not. It's like I'm not criticizing his coaching. I'm not doing that today. I'm not doing that today because he's not a great coach, and you know what I mean. He's just not. But I don't want to say he's a bad coach neither. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not doing that, and I'm not a coach at that level. It takes a lot of time and energy spent and to even do that job. But what I do see from other coaches and what I see him fit and what I suggest is that do your thing, be the face of the program, get the guys in there. Um, that would mean that the other guy got to step down. You know what I mean? Rick George will have to step down. But I think that Prime and Rick George is, you know what I mean? He ain't got to, and Rick George ain't have to move. He just the GM of the football team, right? You know what I mean? Be the GM, get your coaches in there, um, and let them rock the program. You draw some guys, some kids in, however you want to put them, young men. I like to call them young men. Pull some young men in there, some of these collegiate athletes, get them trained up. And I think when he could focus more on that type of area, because he's always going to get some 4 and 5 star talent, regardless of Colorado's record, right? Because of who he is and the day and age where we're at. Like clicks and views matter. Everybody always say you're doing this for clicks and views. Like everybody's doing it for clicks and views. Who isn't? Who isn't right now? It has become a part of business. It's a business. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. So who isn't? You know, people say clout chasing. They try to use all these negative terms and flip things around and say this and say that. Like, who isn't? Who isn't? Like, you know what I mean? And that's just real. Like, who ain't? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the truth of the matter and the fact of things. But moving forward for this Colorado program, I think it can do good. But Coach Prime being in the Big 12, he should be crushing that conference. He should be definitely one of those top 4 or 5 teams in that conference, hands down, every year at Colorado. Hands down. I don't think Texas Tech, with the money that they've spent, should be the only competitor that he's actually competing with for top talent in the Big 12 conference. Texas and Oklahoma ain't there no more. Oklahoma State has failed. So I mean, and these is things that has been regurgitated because I'm sure you heard it somewhere else, but this is how we all feel. We've had, I've had this conversation with many of content creators. We've talked about this on panels and offline and discords and in barbershops everywhere. There's a lot of people that feel and the way that I'm talking right now about this team, right? Because right now, I mean, that's just what they're looking at. But I get it. Who really want to spend all this time talking about Colorado? I do. You know what I mean? To show them the respect, because I do think there's no such thing as a moral victory, but at least they went out fighting. That group that was on the field, they played to the end of the game. Um, a physical matchup, and I do think that if you can have them clicking like that, I think that they should roll K-State. Kansas State, they should beat Kansas State down at Kansas State. They should beat Colorado should beat that team. Yes. With or without Dylan Edwards. They're the talent is overbearing. I think that will be Julian Lewis's last game. He should have seen a lot of things. Their strength is running. They do have a mobile quarterback, but Colorado DBs that was just out there just this past Saturday look like they played pretty good. That's probably some of the better cornerback play that I've seen all season out of this team, to be honest. So it looked like some things got fixed. It did. It looked like some things got fixed. To go to West Virginia and play West Virginia there is tough. It's a tough place to play. It just is. That team is going to perform no matter what how it is. You ask anybody about it, the history of college football, West Virginia going out there and playing, it's not easy to play out there, especially when they're good. So That's just it, man. But I think I gave my opinion on everything. So to sum it all up and to close out on Colorado right now, I feel is that I'm not going to jump the gun on Julian Lewis right now. I want to see what Julian Lewis does versus Arizona State before I say Colorado has found their quarterback, because they should have he should have done that to that West Virginia team. He should have. I'm just being honest. Like, he should have, without a doubt. Without a doubt, he should have done that to that team. Um, so with that being said, I think he would have done the same thing to Delaware had he stayed in that Delaware game. You know, he would have done the same thing to them. So and it's just a talent thing. That team, I'm being honest, I'm being real, and if he comes out here next week and he lights up Arizona State, even if he don't light up Arizona State, if I see the things that I've talked about earlier, I'm still gonna come out here and I'm gonna say, okay, yeah, I gave Julian Lewis his props. I seen what I need to see out of him in that Arizona State game, because it's going to be, you know what I mean, and just be honest about it, because that's what I do here, right? College football has been and y'all gotta forgive me, man, coming down with something, man. It's just been crazy, man. This weather, I'm a truck driver, so I'm one time I'm up north and then I'm going down south. So I'm back and forth. If I sound a little congested, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, because I am fighting it off. But yeah, so this week in college football.